Just to be sure, there's a spoiler. Some of the characters across the entire Dexter franchise, including 2025's Dexter Resurrection, were killed off way too soon. While Dexter killed plenty of bad guys throughout the franchise and lost a fair number of good people as well, these specific characters still had the potential to be further developed over more episodes and seasons. Almost just as bad, if not worse, is the fact that some Dexter characters, such as Lumen, Astor, and Cody, have mostly disappeared from the franchise without explanation or follow-up. With a lengthy show like Dexter, that's bound to happen here and there. That said, it's more difficult to overlook the premature fates of these iconic Dexter characters. Welcome to Movie Spy. Many Dexter fans were hoping that Mia LaPierre, played by Kristen Ritter, would become Dexter's next romantic interest/partner in crime, like Season 2's Lila West and Harrison's adoptive mother, Hannah McKay, before her. Instead, Mia hardly lasted 3 episodes of Resurrection. Falsely dubbed Lady Vengeance by the media, Dexter was intrigued by Mia's apparent code that led her to only hunt and kill sexual predators. This, unfortunately, was not the case, which Dexter found out when Mia offered Red, Dexter's rideshare killer alias, to collaborate on a joint homicide without properly vetting the victim. While Mia's arrest and death are pivotal to the main Resurrection story, getting the NYPD off Harrison's back for Ryan Foster's murder and hinting at Prater's ability to deceive his honored social club guests, it would have been awesome to see her and Dexter actually team up, which could have even spawned its own Dexter spin-off series. Lowell, played by Neil Patrick Harris, is another Dexter, Resurrection serial killer who was gone far too soon. Only appearing in the remarkable 4th episode of Resurrection, Lowell wasn't necessarily a complex character, but his tattoo-collecting need, as Dexter calls it, made him a quick and easy target. Given the acting caliber of the 5-time Emmy winner Harris, best known for his roles in How I Met Your Mother and Gone Girl, it simply would have been more fun had Dexter kept him around longer in Resurrection. Their unmasked face-to-face conversation on Dexter's kill table was insightful and entertaining, but it ultimately left some viewers wanting more. The lingering arc of David Dastmalchian's Gareth, who relishes his #1 status on the FBI's most wanted list as the Gemini Killer, came to an end in Dexter Resurrection Episode 7. He proved himself to be a worthy foe to Dexter throughout the middle episodes of the season, until Dexter found out Gareth's secret that he was teaming up on kills with his twin brother. Needless to say, Dastmalchian is a fantastic actor known for The Dark Knight, Dune, and Blade Runner 2049 who feels completely natural in the Dexter universe. In an older Dexter installment, he would have made a fantastic season-length villain on par with John Lithgow's Trinity Killer or Season 1's Ice Truck Killer. While the Gemini Killer's collective conceit can easily become exhausting, it would have been interesting to dive more into his methodology. For such a brilliant killer, Dexter made pretty light work of him, doing the FBI a colossal favor in the process. Looking back on Season 3, Dexter fans know that Jimmy Smits Miguel Prado, Dexter's first true apprentice, had to go at some point. That said, if Dexter had Prado in his corner during Season 4, there's a chance that he would have been able to fully take on the Trinity Killer and maybe even have prevented Rita's death. Dexter had unintentionally created a monster out of Prado, who couldn't control his dark passenger despite being under Dexter's tutelage. Dexter killing Prado was always inevitable, but it would have been fascinating if Prado had become a more elusive figure that Dexter had to continue hunting into Season 4 and beyond, making him Dexter's one that got away. Prado could have also been further protected as a public figure and the assistant district attorney of Miami. Had Prado remained at large, shielded by media attention, political status, and likely private security, Prado could have returned in the later seasons of Dexter, particularly in Season 8, which might have created a more satisfying OG series ending. Frank Lundy, played by Keith Carradine, was interestingly absent from Dexter Season 3 after being featured as a series regular throughout Season 2. He ultimately returned in the first 4 episodes of Dexter Season 4, only to be shot and killed by the Trinity Killer's estranged daughter, Christine Hill. Lundy's death was one of the better surprise twist killings of a main good guy character in the OG series, especially coming so early in Dexter Season 4. Had he been around in Season 3, it would have likely made his Season 4 death less impactful or alternatively, may have made it even more tragic. Regardless, Lundy was a great character who should have been around more as one of the core Miami Metro crew in the early Dexter seasons. While his relationship with Deborah Morgan was questionable, his character was undoubtedly cool, smart, and a great addition to the team. Hannah McKay actually had an opportunity to return in Dexter New Blood after she raised Harrison in Argentina following the events of Dexter Season 8's finale. For someone who was so significant to Harrison during the time between Season 8 and New Blood, it's odd that Harrison hardly ever talks about her. Had Hannah not been written off by dying from cancer, her return in New Blood would have arguably made that sequel series much more compelling. Dexter never had a romantic interest who loved him more for who he truly was than Hannah did. Dexter even wrote Hannah a letter revealing that he was alive, which is how Harrison found out and tracked him down in New Blood. It's shocking that Hannah didn't at least try to see Dexter again, knowing that she was going to die. Doak certainly served his purpose throughout the first 2 seasons of Dexter and became the first person at Miami Metro to discover who he really is. Doak's Season 2 death made a lot of sense, considering that he had Dexter dead to rights for being the Bay Harbor Butcher. It became an ultimate showdown between Doakes and Dexter, and the show couldn't go on without the latter. That said, Doakes was arguably the funniest and most kick-ass character in the earliest seasons of Dexter and one of the hardest to see go in the series. He didn't deserve to die for being a great investigator and having a hunch about Dexter's dark passenger. Brian Moser's death at the end of Dexter Season 1 had to happen to make the show so fantastic and inherently tragic from the beginning. The character has been revived in Dexter Season 6 and the prequel series, Dexter: Original Sin, but Brian's death eliminated a variety of possibilities for the franchise. Dexter discussing Brian with one half of the Gemini Killers in Resurrection Episode 7 brought up a great point about how he and his brother were too different to collaborate, given Harry's code. Brian remains an enormous figure in the entire Dexter franchise, who will thankfully be explored more intensely in the Dexter prequel series. Deborah Morgan didn't necessarily die too early in the OG Dexter series after starring in all 96 episodes, but her death was ultimately unnecessary and arguably a poor creative decision in the divisive Season 8 finale. Her death felt like a forced method to make the original finale more tragic. It didn't quite land or add up, given the current state of the franchise. Deborah's ghost returns to haunt Dexter in New Blood, taking the place of James Remar's Harry, in another questionable creative move that didn't hit for all Dexter fans. It would be great if Deborah were still alive to actually play a part in Resurrection, especially now that Harrison is interested in criminal justice. Thanks for watching.